That's Tank. That's been the story for me as I'm watching this. He's just investing in that body.
So Tank, I don't need Tank, bro.
He gonna pay for it.
That didn't come from fighting big names. That just came from me performing and people just liking what I come with.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis didn't hold back after seeing Keyshawn Davis get knocked out by Shakur Stevenson during a sparring session. Tank wasted no time taking to social media, mocking Keyshawn with a live video. With a smirk, he made it clear that he didn't believe Keyshawn was on his level, calling him a noob with a dream and saying he was never the better man when it comes to top boxers.
And then we got Tank. So if it's not Tank, it's not Shakur. You want Loma? Top ring?
If light skin don't want to step up to fight me, then I would love to fight Lomachenko, honestly. He with top rank.
Keyshawn has always spoken highly of Shakur, crediting him for being there during some of his toughest times. Their friendship dates back to when Keyshawn was just 14 years old. Shakur wasn't just a fellow boxer, but a lifeline for Keyshawn when he was struggling with his mental health. At 18, Keyshawn found himself in a mental health facility, battling depression. Throughout that difficult period, Shakur was there, constantly checking in on him. Keyshawn shared with TalkSport, "I would tell him what I was thinking, what I was doing, and he would call me up to check on me." Their bond was so strong that the idea of fighting each other seemed almost impossible to imagine.
Because it's going to pay good dividends down the stretch in this fight. And being the older fighter.
Davis Keyshawn, this new guy, he's 140 pounds. He's not bad.
Yeah.
Keyshawn is set to step into the ring on February 14th at the Madison Square Garden Theater, where he will face WBO lightweight champion Dennis Baroni. This fight is seen as a crucial moment for Keyshawn. If he wins against Baroni, it could put him in serious title contention and open the door to even bigger fights. However, the shadow of Shakur Stevenson looms over everything. Shakur is already the WBC lightweight champion and has the kind of reputation that Keyshawn aspires to. Unfortunately, their past makes it difficult for Keyshawn to move forward and pursue this path.
More better than him. Who that? The Keyshawn. Keyshawn look way more better than this nigga. So I keep screaming this nigga name, he haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
Keyshawn has often said in the past that he couldn't fight Shakur because of their close relationship. "I know his whole family, his mom, his brothers, his cousins. It would be too weird," Keyshawn explained. He also mentioned that his family would be heartbroken if they ever fought. For a long time, these words made it seem like a fight between them was out of the question. However, something changed recently. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Keyshawn hinted that he might be open to the idea. When asked how much money it would take to get him in the ring with Shakur, he first joked about asking for $500 million. After some back and forth, he lowered the number to $100 million, saying, "I think everybody will be happy with $100 million. Laughing. While he didn't directly commit to the fight, it was clear that he was considering it more seriously than he had in the past.
And have been through a lot of wars and having a hard time making this weight.
Hey, Shakur, like I was telling Bud, it's either you or Keyshawn's gonna get tanked, so the walls are closing in, so awesome.
It's gonna be him, though.
It makes sense. He's closer.
Big brother first.
Absolutely.
Despite hinting at big matchups, Keyshawn still pulls back when the conversation gets serious. In an interview with Mill City Boxing, he discussed his future plans and made it clear that he would be open to unifying titles with fighters like Gervonta Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko after facing Dennis Baroni. Tank a champion, Baroni a champion, Lomachenko a champion. There's fights out there, Keyshawn said. I would want to unify with any of the champions after Baroni, other than Stevenson. That one line, other than Stevenson, firmly closed the door on a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson, despite his earlier comments suggesting otherwise.
He's going to be a great fighter.
He's calling for Tank. Now,
he beats Tank.
Yeah, you think so?
Keyshawn Davis beats Tank, in my opinion. I believe he's given him a good out.
The back and forth between them didn't sit well with Gervonta Davis. Tank thrives on mind games, and Keyshawn's hesitation gave him all the ammo he needed. When Keyshawn suffered a knockout loss to Shakur Stevenson, Tank made sure to make his feelings clear. His social media post mocking Keyshawn wasn't just about the loss, it was about asserting dominance. By saying Keyshawn wouldn't dare step into the ring with Shakur, Tank was making Keyshawn look both afraid and outmatched. His words stung even more because they came from one of the best in the lightweight division. Tank's reputation made his comments hit that much harder.
Trying to press the action against the young undefeated.
What? So what? What was his point of even doing that? Like, what was he trying to get with it? That I'm trying to ride his coattail? Like, bro, I don't need you. I don't have to fight you. I'm making real. I don't need you, bro. I don't need you, bro. I do not need you, bro.
I don't need you, bro. That's not just trash talk. Gervonta Davis is making it clear that he's the top dog, and anyone who might challenge his spot better step back. With Keyshawn still establishing himself, Tank's words hit even harder. After Keyshawn's knockout loss, things only got worse. Social media exploded with memes and videos poking fun at him, many of them directly inspired by Tank's comments. Even casual boxing fans got wrapped up in the drama. Keyshawn suddenly found himself in an uncomfortable spot. He was no longer seen as just a promising up-and-comer. He was the fighter who got knocked out by Shakur and then ridiculed by Tank.
Fighter. Get him up, Keyshawn, just a little bit. Let the arm go, Keyshawn. Keyshawn, let it go.
Keyshawn fight me. The fans want him to fight me. After what I just did tonight against a guy that's bigger than him, come on now. If I touch him, what's gonna happen? Talk about that. Everybody want to talk about, oh, Keyshawn, what if he touch you? What if I touch him? Yeah, okay.
Despite all the noise, Keyshawn remains focused on his journey. He's determined to come out strong against Dennis Baroni and prove that he belongs with the best in the lightweight division. However, the pressure is real. Every move he makes will be watched closely, especially with fighters like Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson hovering over the division. Keyshawn's past remarks and actions have painted him as a fighter with something to prove, not just inside the ring, but in terms of his mental strength too. On the other hand, Gervonta Davis isn't backing down. His confidence is at an all-time high, and he isn't shy about reminding everyone of his dominance, whether it's through his performances in the ring or playing mind games. Tank knows how to keep himself in the conversation, and with the lightweight division being as competitive as it is, that mental edge could end up making all the difference.
Keyshawn is throwing these subtle body shots on the inside, small little punches on the inside.
Is Keyshawn the one that can crack their Gervonta code?
Gervonta can be beat easily, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, we hear you say he could be beat easily. Why?
Yeah, he could be.
The tension between Gervonta Davis and Keyshawn is far from over. The storylines in the lightweight division keep unfolding, and fans are eager to see what will happen next. Will Keyshawn bounce back and rise to the challenge? Will Shakur and Keyshawn's friendship ever allow for a true showdown? Keyshawn is about to step into the spotlight with his upcoming fight on February 14th against Dennis Baroni at Madison Square Garden. The fight, which will be broadcast live on ESPN and ESPN Plus, is a big moment for the rising star. It's not just another match. This could be the turning point that sets him on a path toward a showdown with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. For months, Keyshawn has been calling out Tank, hoping to stir up enough attention to make the fight happen. But despite his repeated challenges, Tank has remained frustratingly silent.
Fight me. The fans want him to fight me. After what I just did tonight against a guy that's bigger than him, come on now. If I touch him, what's gonna happen? Talk about that. Everybody want to talk about, oh, Keyshawn, what if he touch you? What if I touch him? Yeah, okay.
Keyshawn, an Olympic silver medalist from 2021, has rapidly risen through the ranks with a record of 12 knockouts. He is on the verge of securing his first major world title in only his 13th professional fight. Winning this weekend would solidify his status as a serious contender, placing him alongside some of the biggest names in the lightweight division, such as Vasily Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, and, of course, Tank Davis. While matchups with any of these fighters would be exciting, a fight between Keyshawn and Tank would be particularly explosive if it ever happens.
And throughout that process, he was spoken. And then he told us yesterday.
Fight, because what happened when Shakur do it, when somebody chasing him around, it's boring. What's next for Tank? If anything, it's gonna be Keyshawn. Out of them two, Keyshawn is more entertaining. Keyshawn gonna stand there and throw the punches. You can look.
Keyshawn has been open about his desire to face Gervonta Davis. He's spoken in interviews, stating that he feels ready for the challenge and believes he has the skills to dethrone Tank. However, his confidence seems to be matched by growing impatience. In a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Keyshawn expressed his frustration, saying, "I just think he doesn't have the balls to fight me." Those words quickly lit up social media, sparking debates among fans about whether Tank is avoiding the young contender or just biding his time. Keyshawn's frustration isn't only about being ignored, but also about missed opportunities. He compared his situation to that of Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez, where one fighter is eager for a big fight, while the other remains uninterested.
So you and Tank, if that were to happen, you sparred with him, correct?
Yeah.
So you and Tank, if that were to happen.
I feel like me and Tank fight, how it would go would be like electrifying. Like, me and him are both mean, aggressive, bullies in the ring, you know, like we.
Keyshawn has made it clear that he won't beg for a fight. "I'm just waiting for him to send me a contract, bro," he said. His message is simple. He's ready whenever Tank is. For Keyshawn, the fight should be easy to make. He knows that Tank would be the A side, meaning Tank would get the larger share of the purse and have more control over the fight's terms. Still, despite being willing to make those concessions, Tank has yet to show much interest. Keyshawn remains hopeful that a strong performance against Baroni will force Tank to take notice of him. Meanwhile, Tank has his own plans. He's set to face WBA featherweight champion Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st in Brooklyn.
Crucible it is in the course of the recent training camp in which he
Is Keyshawn ready based on his performance to take on Tank Davis, and how does that fight play out?
I feel like Keyshawn is ready to take on a guy like Tank. I think that Keyshawn is one of the most skillful fighters in
The upcoming fight has been generating a lot of buzz, but Tank Davis's silence about Keyshawn has left many wondering if he sees the young contender as a real threat or just not worth his time. Tank is known for being picky about his opponents, often choosing fights that offer a big payday while giving him the best chance to stay undefeated. Keyshawn, however, seems unfazed by Tank's reputation or his knockout power. His main focus is on building his legacy, even if it means doing so without Tank's involvement. Despite this, Keyshawn has made it clear that he's not interested in wasting time on fights that won't help his career. He recently shut down the idea of fighting Andy Cruz, the 2020 Olympic gold medalist who beat Keyshawn 4 times in the amateurs. He's not worth my time, Keyshawn said, when asked why he wouldn't pursue a professional fight with Cruz. This stance has raised some eyebrows, with critics wondering if Keyshawn is avoiding Cruz out of fear of a 5th loss.
It seems like you bring Andy Cruz's name up, he get a little shake.
No, he get upset. He get upset because Andy using his name. Don't nobody know.
He using his name.
No, tell me right now 3 things.
Another loss to Isaac Pitbull Cruz could derail Keyshawn's career, just as he's starting to land major paydays with Top Rank. Cruz, on the other hand, has been making a name for himself in his first 5 professional fights, drawing comparisons to Keyshawn for his talent and potential. Many boxing experts believe Cruz is the more polished fighter, though he hasn't received the same level of promotional backing from Matchroom that Keyshawn has received from Top Rank. Top Rank's significant investment in Keyshawn isn't just about his talent, it's about filling the gap left by Shakur Stevenson, who is no longer with the promotion. They're betting on Keyshawn to be their next big star. Whether his rise is organic or carefully planned, it's clear that Keyshawn is being groomed as the future of the lightweight division, and he knows it. His confidence in interviews reflects both his self-belief and his role as a future champion in the making.
And his work as hard as he needs to work throughout the course of the fight.
You are good. You are real good. But there's levels to this game, Keyshawn.
Okay, we gonna talk about levels. Okay, just know it's levels, it's certain levels.
Despite all the attention he's getting, Keyshawn is still hungry for respect. He's not satisfied with just being mentioned alongside the likes of Tank, Shakur, and Lomachenko. He wants to prove he belongs by defeating them. His upcoming fight against Binnick is the first step in that journey, and all eyes will be on him to see how he handles the pressure under the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. Right now, the rivalry between Keyshawn and Tank is mostly just a battle of words and unfulfilled promises. But boxing fans know these kinds of stories have a way of building up until they reach a tipping point. If Keyshawn secures a big win this weekend and Tank beats Roach in March, the pressure for the two to face off will only grow stronger. Whether it happens next year or the year after, one thing is certain. Keyshawn Davis is determined to get his shot at Tank, and when that fight finally happens, it could be the one that shapes the future of the lightweight division.
In a moment, Pedraza continues to try to come forward, and Davis able to get...
Yo, but what about Keyshawn saying that the Tank is target practice? You heard that audio?
I like how Keyshawn, he's clout chasing. Bring up Tank's name, sell your fight, get the most views on it.
Keyshawn Davis is a fighter who isn't afraid to make bold statements. Ahead of his February 14th bout, he's made it clear that he intends to knock his opponent out in the very first round. For Keyshawn, this fight isn't just about winning. It's about sending a message to the entire boxing world, especially to Gervonta "Tank" Davis, whom he has openly called out for a unification fight. The 120-minute fighter known as the Businessman has been outspoken about his desire to face Tank next if he comes out on top in his fight on Friday night. However, he's also expressed doubts about whether Tank has the guts to take him on.
I would prefer Tank Davis, the top guy. I would go for the top guy. If I could choose, I would choose Tank Davis. I would not Tank short out. Tank is a great fighter. Hats off to Tank. I'm not even about to just do all that. Like, Tank is a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows that he got the power, he got the skill and ability, he's patient, you know what I'm saying? But I know who
Keyshawn's confidence is hard to deny, but some people believe his approach crosses the line into arrogance. His bold prediction of a first-round knockout against Baroni, a seasoned and respected fighter, has drawn criticism, with many calling it excessive. Keyshawn is no stranger to such criticism. Throughout his career, he's presented himself as a rising star, someone who believes his charisma and talent make him a force to be reckoned with in the lightweight division. However, up to this point, his claims of being a star in boxing have yet to be proven, with his popularity mostly limited to his hometown of Norfolk, Virginia.
He just doesn't throw caution to the wind.
And when it comes to the
You got a chance to work with Gervonta out here in Vegas. What was that experience like? Anything you could share?
The experience was great, and it was what's crazy about that is this time around, it was like, all right, we older now. There's more skills involved. It's like, all right, now let's see how it's going to go this time. And
what stands out is how Keyshawn talks about a potential match with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. In Keyshawn's mind, the fight is bound to happen. It's just a matter of time. He sees it as a clash between two strong personalities that would create huge excitement in the boxing world. He even went as far as saying that promoting such a fight would be easy because it practically markets itself. Two undefeated fighters with different fighting styles and attitudes, Davis versus Keyshawn. Keyshawn believes that this fight would not only show off his skills, but also boost his status to the level of Tank, who is widely considered one of the biggest stars in boxing today.
Tank said he's now the new face of boxing. What do you think?
For sure, he's the face of boxing. I don't have no problem with saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he deserves everything that's coming to him. He's the face of boxing for sure.
And he's that guy. You talked about how good Shakur is. Do you think people sleep on Tank's skills? Because they just see him as a knockout artist?
Who sleep on Tank's skills? Nah, nobody sleep on Tank.
However, the situation might not be as simple as Keyshawn thinks. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, with a record of 30-0 and a reputation as a powerful puncher, has little reason to consider fighting Keyshawn right now. Tank already has plenty of top contenders seeking a shot, many of whom bring more credibility and bigger financial rewards to the table than Keyshawn. It's no secret that Tank's name holds a lot of weight in boxing, and any fight involving him is sure to attract huge attention. On the other hand, Keyshawn is still working to prove himself at the elite level, which makes his calls for a fight with Tank seem a bit premature to some. Despite this, Keyshawn hasn't backed down. He's gone out of his way to provoke Tank, even questioning his masculinity and character. Keyshawn's comments about Tank's feminine qualities and his claim that Tank lacks the courage to face him are clearly meant to get a reaction.
Let him go. And he said it had a lot to do with his actual physical well-being.
Whether this approach will actually work is still unknown, but it's clear that Keyshawn is focused on getting under Tank's skin. His comments show that he's not just chasing the spotlight, but also enjoys stirring up controversy to keep his name in the news. Interestingly, Keyshawn's goals don't end with Tank. If the much-talked-about unification fight doesn't happen, he's already looking ahead to Isaac "Pitbull" Cruz, a former WBA lightweight title challenger known for his tough, aggressive style. Keyshawn sees a fight with Cruz as another chance to make a big statement, one that would excite fans and bring significant financial rewards for both fighters. As usual, Keyshawn has framed this potential fight as a showdown between two stars representing different fan bases, making it sound like a high-stakes event that fans won't want to miss.
As though that you sparred, you said when you get in there, you can feel a person's energy. We've had plenty of trainers tell us that Tank is a great boxer. Not just this puncher that we see, he just hasn't, quote unquote, had to show it. I feel like you've seen some of that in the Isaac Cruz fight, especially with the one hand. He had to show his...
Not everyone is convinced by Keyshawn's bold attitude. Some critics argue that he's being carefully protected by his promoter, Top Rank, ensuring that he avoids high-risk fights that could hurt his career. A clear example of this is his refusal to fight Andy Cruz, the 2020 Olympic gold medalist who defeated Keyshawn 4 times in the amateurs. Keyshawn has brushed off Cruz, calling him irrelevant, and claiming he lacks a fan base and isn't on his level. However, many believe this is just an excuse to avoid a fight that could reveal weaknesses in his game. Cruz, who has looked strong in his early professional career, is a real threat. Keyshawn's unwillingness to face him has led some to accuse him of being afraid and only taking opportunities that benefit him.
Yes, I hear what he's saying, but at the same time, it's dangerous because Keyshawn is a prolific counter.
Tank's skill is phenomenal, but I just feel like he's offense first. I feel like he's offense first, or I feel like Tank is the type of fighter where he'll either be offensive first, or he's very, 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 very patient, and then just try to catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying? And certain fights.
Keyshawn's critics have pointed to his performances against lesser opponents, arguing that they haven't lived up to the hype. Fights against Miguel Madueño and Nahir Albright, for instance, have been mentioned as evidence that Keyshawn still has a long way to go before he can legitimately claim to be on the same level as top fighters like Gervonta "Tank" Davis. While Keyshawn's talent is undeniable, his tendency to talk big without backing it up in the ring has made him a polarizing figure in the sport. In many ways, Keyshawn's approach mirrors that of Edgar Bonga, another fighter who was heavily promoted by Top Rank before eventually parting ways with the company. Bonga was initially built up as a knockout artist, but as the level of competition increased, his flaws became more evident. Similarly, Keyshawn's bold claims and selective matchmaking have led some to view him as a manufactured star rather than a true contender. Keyshawn's obsession with Tank Davis seems to go beyond just professional ambition. His comments suggest a personal dislike for Tank, whom he accuses of being unpredictable and insincere. Despite this, Keyshawn is quick to say that he doesn't need Tank to define his career. He insists he's building his own path and brand, regardless of whether the fight with Tank ever happens. However, his constant references to Tank suggest otherwise. It seems that Keyshawn knows a win over someone like Tank could change his life in a big way. For now, Keyshawn's focus is on his upcoming fight with Baroni, but his mind is clearly already on what's next. Whether it's Tank, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, or another high-profile opponent, Keyshawn is determined to position himself as a major player in the lightweight division. The real question is, can he back up his words with action? His performance on February 14th will likely give us some answers. But until then, his bold claims will continue to divide opinion among fans. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.